This is a walkthrough explanation of Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto, and as you can see, I've put some bowings and some fingerings in, and everyone has their own fingerings and bowings that they would like to do. Some of them are more standardized, and you can see them on YouTube, I'm sure. Just make sure you watch the more modest ones because they don't dress very well nowadays, especially the girls. So just keep that in mind when you watch these videos. Okay, now the shifting in the beginning, you can fall into the trap of being too close to the string like I was, and you can hear it back on the recording. You really want light shifts through this, even though you're shifting a lot in the beginning melody. So keep that in mind. You'll probably want to play back what you've played so that you can really hear what you've done, and then just lightly play everything lightly. All the shifts, all the octaves, very, very lightly with your left hand, and you know, it'll just roll right off basically in the bow. Practice it's really just all a matter of practice. Now the next thing, as you can see, I put in some bowings just because I'm soloing it. I took out this added extra. And then on this page, you'll want to know that the faster you play this, the more your bow is going to want to leap up towards the frog, and that's totally okay. That's why I eventually ended up just doing a full up bow on the last things, although you could probably manage to do it all separately, but the faster you play it, the more your bow's going to end up on the frog, especially while you're changing strings. I did add some double stops down here just because I'm slowing it, so I just wanted it for, you know, listening, just to kind of fill it out a little bit. I did get rid of some of these middle parts because I'm slowing it. Just some little things. I tend to play more of this separately. It's just easier that way. And then these, you can finger them any way you want. I just put in my own fingerings. I do harmonics at the end there. This, I took out this part just because it's just solo, and for me, I just stopped there. Why not? For these, you probably want to do your own fingerings. I did my own bowings, which are actually, I think, a little bit different than what I have there. For this, you know, I do recommend going up on one string when it asks you to. But just keep in mind, you will be cleaning your violin off a lot because you are going to have your finger in some rosin when you do this. I took this out here just for listeners' sake because there's no accompaniment for solo. For this too, just keep in mind, especially in these parts, you want to really release your fingers and really have a light touch on this, especially with all these bow crossings. For this, I did the first three slurred, and then for the rest I did them separated really lightly, just going up as fast as possible to this note and this harmonic. That's just a personal preference. I added some double stops here. I do keep this up in the octave. I did put an optional lower octave. I was considering that, but then I decided to just keep it up. And then I added some embellishments and some double stops there. I did take this out. I was going to repeat this, but then I decided not to. I decided to keep the lower part there. I don't usually go on fourth string there. It's up to you. For this end part, for this end line right here, think of it as 16th notes. If you don't, you're going to drag it, and your left hand is just not going to move as fast, especially in this area here. I ended up just slurring that. You're going to definitely want to memorize this. And I've definitely had my time when I had the whole thing, the whole first movement memorized. And I could go ahead and do that again. It actually plays a lot better when you memorize it. It actually doesn't feel like work. So that's something to keep in mind, that the memorization at first is harder, but then becomes super easy. When everything's memorized, you can just play it, you know? And then you can focus on maybe the little things that you really want to work on. And since it's memorized, you can just stand there and just like getting your fingers in your hand without like staring at a piece of paper. So it really helps. This, I really don't make a big deal out of it. I just play really light and just try to go as fast as possible to the end, which means that these shifts are going to seem like almost nothing. You're not going to feel like you moved at all. And you want to keep really close to the string, but obviously not making it kind of slurry and stuff. So there you go.